Well, how are we, guys? So I'm finally back. I was always coming back. It's just been a long while. Um, yeah, it's probably been about 2 years since I've put out content. So if you're new to the channel, I have I haven't just started this. I have been doing these videos ever since the scamdemic. Um, but yeah, since probably about 2 years ago, I stopped consistently putting out content. I was making videos and doing podcasts and stuff on the regular, and up until about a couple of years ago. So, but with everything that's happened, and I felt that calling again, as I did back in 2020 with COVID. I was awake, and it spoke to people within my circles about this sort of stuff when I was going through my initial awakening back in 2010. But I didn't put my face out there in the public, other than like a few social media posts up until the scamdemic. But once that dropped, I just felt the calling to start making content and getting my voice out there. And as I do now, I felt the calling again. The last couple of years I haven't felt that. I've just been working on myself and doing a lot of that inner work, which has been fantastic. It's probably something we should all be focusing on, is doing that inner work, just focusing on yourself, and trying to become that best version that you can be. And I feel like I've grown so much since working on myself and giving up that time to just purely focus on that, rather than trying to juggle everything else in my life, with the job and just day-to-day life and other things that I do, as well as trying to have a channel and maintain that and put videos out regularly. It was tough to maintain all that, and then to be able to have the time too to dedicate to yourself to do that personal work. So it was good to have a year or two to just really focus on that. And I feel like I've really evolved and grown since then. So obviously there's always room to keep growing, to keep evolving, but I felt like just having that time has really allowed me to evolve a lot quicker than what I would have if I just kept focusing on putting videos out and stuff like that. So it's been good. I don't think a lot of people realise how many things we need to work on as individuals until you actually dedicate the time to do it. I highly recommend going to speak to someone. We're all suffered trauma, or we're all gone through grief during our lives, and especially over the last fucking 6 years. It's just been nuts. So I think really focusing on your mental health, and that was one step that I took, was going to see someone and open up to them. I also done a past life regression, so that's another thing. Like, we have all these unhealed traumas from our past lives, and not only that, we have traumas through our genetics that are passed down through our ancestors and you know, what they've gone through, and our parents and grandparents and stuff. So yes, and then like on top of that, you got all the trauma that you've experienced already in this life, and it's just incredible. So there's so much we need to do when it comes to working on ourselves, and we can always be bettering ourselves, you know. So but yeah, the past life regression was really interesting. I'm not going to get into that today, but now that I am making videos again, I will do a video around that, because it was quite incredible, and I didn't realise how much trauma I had built up inside of me was from a past life. So yeah, healing that, or you know, going through that healing process at the moment is I just feel like I've healed myself here in the physical now, like so much. I've just become such a better version of myself. So but yeah, you know, just not only that, but I've just been dedicating time to the people I love, and relationships in my life, and you know, doing things that I love, and making sure that you know, we're getting out and enjoying ourselves with a smile on our face. So and just having fun too, you know. It's been doing a lot of partying and enjoying, like, you know, it was a period there where it sort of went back. I'm not going to say normal, because it's never been normal in this you know, this reality, this lifetime. But yeah, you know, it's gone back to somewhat what we're used to, and it's been nice to just, you know, be able to focus on them things that I've been speaking about. So like, you know, during 2020 and that, it was so difficult to be able to do that, and so many other things. Like, you know, if you're in different parts of the world, obviously you've got so much going on. If you're in the Middle East, or, you know, my heart goes out to everyone that's been affected by these atrocities, these fucking wars that are, you know, completely staged, and you know, for this agenda. It's just, yeah, it's crazy. But you know, personally, I've had plenty of time to just, you know, be able to live my life and better my situation. So it's been nice. But yeah, so we're back. Yeah, if you're new to the channel, yeah, like I was around during the scamdemic. That's when I first started making videos, and you know, I interviewed Max Egan and Dale Holmes and a whole heap of different people during that time, and you know, started a podcast with my brother, and which we're planning to start back up. So it's all going to kick back off now that these Epstein files have been released. And you know, the crazy thing is, it's like, it's been so long. Like, you know, people that most of you guys that are watching this video, I dare say, have been awake for a long time. So we've all been sitting back and waiting with anticipation for these files to be released, and you know, here they are. It's and it almost got to that point where it's like, are they ever going to be released? It's been 6 or 7 years. It's like, but you know, they finally let them out, and you know, you got to ask yourself why now too. It's interesting. I'm not going to get into too many, you know, conspiratorial things, like as to why it might be now, and different things that may be in the pipeline. But we're just going to focus on what's happened, and you know, how people are reacting to it too. Like, it must be tough for people that are only just switching on to this. You know, and there was a lot of people during COVID that were starting to wake up, and it didn't really go to, like, I'm not speaking for everyone, but there was a lot of people that still thought there, could be change happen within the political system and these sorts of stuff. They didn't understand the depths and the level of evil that we're actually dealing with within the government and judicial system and all the people at the upper echelon and stuff. But like people like that are beginning to understand what we're dealing with now through the release of these files, and yeah, it must be extremely difficult for them because I know what it was like, and as I'm sure a lot of yous do, what it was like when we first found out about this sort of stuff. When you went down the rabbit hole of satanic ritual abuse and the incredibly heinous crimes that these people commit and get away with. It's unbelievable, So if you're waking up to that at the moment, it's just, and as I stated a lot during the COVID times, sorry about all this noise, but was, a lot of people had given up on anyone that had taken the jab. They'd be like, oh, they're a lost cause, and they're never going to wake up. And I disagreed with this, and I always thought, no, there's going to be another wave of people that wake up, and some of these people that have the jab are going to wake up. And I was seeing that during that time. Like, I was meeting people that had their jab, and then they started to wake up. So that was. Yeah, I always thought there was going to be another wave of people, and it's going to be people that have had the jab too, So they're starting to wake up to all this, and it's a lot to handle when you're trying to wrap your head around it all. When how deep it goes, and they control the world, and all this satanic pedophilia shit is all over the world, in every industry, in every facet of our lives, within the courts and the banking and the pollies and everything, the cops and doctors. They've infiltrated every system, education system, there's heaps that I've forgotten, but they're in everything, Oi. Scared the shit out of me. Hey, mate. Hey, buddy. Hey. Yeah, good, mate. Yourself? Yeah, so there must be a lot for people that are waking up at the moment, and like, especially if you're only just at the start of it and you're finding all this out. So, but it is interesting how they're portraying it through the mainstream media. I have watched a little bit of it, and I'm noticing, they're not giving you much, and it's like they talk about it a little bit here and there. They're focusing mainly on the Prince Andrew arrest, supposed arrest, or make what you want of it. But yeah, like, not. There's so much to it. Like, there's so many emails that have been released, and within that, like, so many of these names have been redacted, and it's like you got all these code words and that, as we know, like the pizza and the hot dogs and jerky and all that, and it's so obvious, but like it goes even deeper than that. Like, we've seen so much in, like, even the fact that Epstein and fucking Bill Gates were colluding about the pandemic is in there. So that's a scam. Not that we didn't know that, but, like, you know what I mean. Like, it's all official. It's all official. That, like, heaps of stuff is in there, and heaps of names have been redacted, like I said. So it's just, that should prove to anyone that is skeptical, and still, a skeptic on all this. Like, the fact that there's no arrest or really much talk about it in the mainstream, it's like, why not? Why not? Well, I know why not. Most of people watching this know why not, but like, yeah, you gotta ask yourself. So that's what I was explaining before. They're not gonna. I've seen a good meme. Telling the government to arrest the pedophiles is like telling Miley Cyrus to arrest Hannah Montana. Yeah, like how that sums it up. So you're not going to see any of that, but yeah, it is interesting to see. And like, I'm also seeing a lot of people too that are completely asleep still, and these. I hate to say it, but these are the people that are never going to wake up, because like, they're still denying it. They still think all this is conspiracy theories, and because they're only taking what's fact in their eyes from the fucking mainstream media and all these fucking people that have got them under mind control. Where the truth's out there to see. And no one does their own research. Like people like that, they don't do their own research. They're not going to look up any of these files, or they just think, I've seen one comment saying, what you get your truth from a meme, or it's just, these people are so fried, incredibly fried, like, and yeah, they're never going to wake up. So they and I think that was in regards to a story that I seen through Facebook. It was sort of some mainstream platform that was talking about Ellen DeGeneres being a cannibal, which she is, and yeah, like, some of the people in the comments still fucking just thought it was fucking conspiracy. What, you get your fucking information from a meme? Yeah, well, a meme that was written off FBI documents, like, you fucking idiot. They're fried. But, it's good to see a lot of people are waking up and seeing through it, because it's so obvious. Like, people know through social media, and if they've gone on and had a look themselves, like, the level of evil and the fucking heinous things that have come out from this, like, but yet, like, they're not really speaking about it on the mainstream. They're just speaking about fucking Prince Andrew. Like, so people are connecting the dots. They're not doing anything in the courts to arrest them. So they're fucking corrupt. Media's corrupt. They're not really talking about it. Police are corrupt. They're not making any arrests. Like, this is the thing we've always said it. This will be the thing that brings down the house of cards.
Is Epstein Oprah? Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down.
Obviously, at the moment, people are still in that initial stage of shock. A lot of us knew it was happening and that, but like, on a bigger scale, like, we're still under that shock sort of phase. So I think once that wears off, we could see, I don't know, a bit of an uprise. I'm not sure. But yeah, like, there is a lot of videos with people who look like they've just found out, and like they are like losing it.
How? How are these people still running this country? Our leaders are pedophiles. They enjoy raping children. Children! What are we doing?
And I've seen a few videos of fucking alpha males finding this shit out, and they're not going to stand for it, mate. There is going to be some form of alpha uprise at some point, and I think it's just a matter of time, I think.
Cunts. This is the difference between me and you fucking pussies, right? So now let's get a few more fucking things straight. I started a group chat called Punch Upwards UK because I think we all need to unite. We need to unite against these fucking predators. We need to unite against these politicians, these elites, all of them, because it's out of hand now. It's a fucking joke that they're allowed to just get away with this.
We owe it to our children. Every fucker in that Epstein files needs to be exposed, and the whole house of cards needs to fall. These are our daughters and our sisters. But these guys are still running around being psychopaths, and they're running the government, and they're bombing women and children. Shut up! I've had it! Wake up, people!
But is that the way to go? I don't know. Is that what they want to happen? I don't know. Or do they just, who knows? That's why I'm not going to speculate about it. We're going to just let it play out. We'll speculate it a bit, about it a bit later down the track. But yeah, crazy times. What a time to be alive, though. Like, I'm loving it, and I'm loving the fact that this has dropped. These Epstein files are finally out, and we can start to move forward. Because it was good to have that little period off. Recharged, worked on myself, but we want to get this agenda, this gang moving, because we know the more this shit comes out, the closer we get to ending this shit, to living in a far better world. Let's think of the things we've had robbed from us. Not going to get into that, but we are just living half of our potential. I'll just say that. So many things that have been taken away from us. For instance, we have the internet inside ourselves, but we've been disconnected from it. And we use an artificial one now, but we won't get into that today. It's good to be back and making videos. Like I said, I'm gonna try and put more content out on the regular. I'll be starting the podcast back up with Mitch. Hopefully have my first step back coming out soon. And it's wild times, but just trying to think what else has come of it. That's what I was going to say. Another thing is I was speaking a lot about this during the scamdemic times, was the fact that they were trying to desensitize us to a lot of this fucking shit, a lot of the pedophilia shit and the satanic stuff, and through the music videos, they were really pushing it through that, through their concerts and these things like fucking rituals, where they're harvesting energy and shit. But they were really pushing it, Hollywood, obviously, just in ads and different things. And one thing that really stood out, I remember, and I tried to make a lot of noise about it at that time, and I see that it finally is starting to make the rounds, is when that lady was talking about how pedophilia should be seen as a sexual preference, you know, and like lumped in with these other things like in the LGBTQ community and stuff, you know. So just another one of that, like, you know, what a fucking absolute joke, you know. Like, but so we know all about that. But yeah, so like that was what I was trying to say. Like, look at this. They're trying to make pedophilia acceptable. They're trying to get people to, you know, they're trying to desensitize people to all this sort of shit, and just so people are numb to it and just allow it to happen. And just I can't do anything. It's just, yeah, they want to do that. It doesn't affect me. That's just the most ignorant thing you could say, and you know, ignorance, ego, these sorts of things are traits of Satanism, and you can already see what a number they've done on us, because most of the people who aren't awake to this are just, you know, are ignorant. They're burying their heads in the sand. They've got too big of egos to admit they're wrong, and these are traits of Satanism, and this is what they've done to the world. Try to turn the population into them, into Satanists. So yeah, it's very interesting times. But like all we can do at the moment is just keep exposing it, keep waking people up, and you know, nurturing people through this. Like it's some people that like I spoke about that are just becoming aware of this. It's tough. It's fucking tough. But good on them for fucking not shying away, not burying their heads in the sand. You know, so many people just do that, and yeah, ignorance is bliss, isn't it? Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. That's a good little chat for me first video back. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You're probably only going to be watching this on YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't know what's going on with BitChute. I'm going to have to look into it, but I haven't been on my BitChute account for some time, obviously. So, but I went to sign back in there, and I can't sign back in. I can't get into that account. So leave it with me. I am working on it. I'm going to try and sort that out. But since the censorship has really died down on YouTube, I'm going to start posting on there again. So this one will be up on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram. I'm going hard on there. And yeah, just keep spreading the word, guys, and being there for the people that are waking up. You know, another thing is like get these victim stories out there. You know, people that have lived through this. That's how I woke up to this disgustingness, this fucking level of evil. You know, was hearing stories of, you know, like Fiona Barnett's and Rachel Vaughan's, and the list goes on. There's heaps, Max Lowen and Kelly O'Brien. Like, there's so many. So I just, yeah, you'll find them. There's plenty out there. There is a good podcast. I might try and link it in the description below that interviews a lot of these survivors and stuff. So, but yeah, it is everywhere. These pedophiles have, you know, they've set it up through secret societies, and they've corrupted all our industries, and yeah, they run the world, guys. Like, I know most of us know that, but some of us are only just switching on to it, and yeah, it's great to have you on board. It really is. So let's stay strong, keep getting the word out there, and yeah, we'll speak soon. I just wanted to add as well, like I know I said I wasn't going to speculate, but one thing I was speaking about when I was still making videos a couple of years ago, this was probably the last topic I was sort of speaking about in my final videos, was how they are literally exposing themselves, and this is another level of that. You know, they're really exposing themselves now, to the point where everyone knows the level of evil that these people operate out of. And by doing that, it's going to lead people to religion, to these false prophets, which ultimately, it's the same evilness in control of. So, yeah, look, I'll speak more about this, but I think that's what's going on here. I think they're exposing themselves in hope that people will start to turn to Christ, to these false prophets that they've infiltrated. They want you to give your power away to these false gods, where the true message of Christ was never about that. It was always about, the kingdom of heaven is within. Anything I am capable of, you are as well, and even more. So his message was totally lost, but the majority of people that are Christians are, have a faith. They worship this God, and it's the same trap. It's any God that wants to be worshipped is not a God. Yeah, look, I'll talk more about it, but in the next video. But thought I'd just drop that one in there.